morning, Nilam. Bonjour à tous. Jagdish Joypal, bonjour.
Bonjour Nawaz, Nilam, bonjour auditeurs et internautes, bonjour également.
La private notice question du leader de l'opposition ce matin à l'Assemblée nationale il est adressée au ministre des Infrastructures nationales, Bobby Ariram. Il concerne un cas d'inondation qui finit dans Old Moka Road, 4 bonnes depuis janvier 2022 et ce qui fait une cause l'effondrement partiel du mur du cimetière de Saint-Jean le mercredi 8 novembre 2023 et qui inonde un certain nombre de tombes et de maisons qui situées dans les environs. Donc, question adressée au ministre Ariram Jagdish. Zaveli Duval, donc, intéressé au dossier inondation ce matin.
Oui, il y a 4 aspects de sa question de chef de l'opposition Xavier Duval qui a adressé au ministre Bobby Ariram. D'abord, c'est inondation à 4 bornes, qui d'ailleurs, c'est la circonscription de Xavier Duval. Également, dégâts qui finissent causer au cimetière de Saint-Jean, effondrement muraille. Bonne mesure qui peut prendre, surtout pour canaliser l'eau, est-ce qu'il y a la construction de drains, et finalement, est-ce qu'il y a un plan d'urgence pour la région si jamais il y a besoin de faire une évacuation de habitants. Alors nous disons, là c'était l'occasion pour le ministre Bobby Ariram de faire un retour le projet de construction de drains, projet de développement qui est en cours et qui finit élaboré. D'ailleurs, depuis 2013, nous pouvons continuer à élaborer en 2021 également finir dans un cas d'inondation. Et en février, d'ailleurs, ça l'année-là, Bobby Ariram annonce un budget de 11,7 milliards de roupies qui vous dépenser en 3 ans et il y a 1700 projets qui sont identifiés et 306 zones qui sont exposées dans le pays au niveau des inondations. Alors, parmi ces régions-là, il y en a 62 qui est dans haut risque, donc nécessite un plan d'urgence. Alors, nous constatons que les inondations du 7 novembre dernier, là, et la semaine dernière, il coïncide avec les 4 ans des élections générales de 2019. Ensuite, concernant drains, construction, reconstruction, il y a différentes institutions et organisations qui sont engagées au niveau du gouvernement. Il y a la Land Drainage Authority, alors donc qui identifie une zone inondable, projet qui définit et qui besoin donc mettre en pratique. Ensuite, il y a la Land Development Authority. Là, c'est un autre aspect. Et ensuite, il y a la création de Land Drainage Authority et qui d'ailleurs peut présidé par Avinash Gopi, c'est-à-dire c'est la Drains Infrastructure Construction Limited. Et budget 10,4 milliards de roupies qui rejoignent ce que le ministre Ariram a annoncé. Le 10 novembre, Nando Boda, qui est ancien ministre des Infrastructures publiques, 3 jours après les inondations à 4 bornes dans le sud et dans l'ouest, lui dit que la gestion des drains, c'est une véritable catastrophe. Donc, pena modélisation, pena assimilation, surface la route et surface projet côté de développement. Donc, il peut dire besoin prendre une mesure de planification. Et en février, ça l'année là, finina l'annonce du ministre Ariram et aussi un plan d'urgence donc qui finit élaboré et là qui le gouvernement peut continuer travail pour mettre en pratique la réalisation et la construction des drains.
Voilà, donc nous suivons ensemble cette PNQ.
Announcements.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it is with deep regret that we have learned of the demise of Mr. Narendraj Veerasomi, former Member of Parliament, on Tuesday, 7th of November 2023, at the age of 81. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Narendraj Veerasomi, commonly known as Mr. Dev Veerasomi, was born on 16th of March 1942 in Quartier Militaire. He pursued his studies at the St. Joseph College in Cupip, and after his school certificate, he attended the Royal College of Portvis to complete his secondary education. Thereafter, he proceeded to Scotland to pursue his tertiary studies in languages, literature, and linguistics at the Edinburgh University, and became holder of a diploma in applied linguistics and a Master of Art in English. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Veerasomi started his career in the teaching profession. Later, he joined active politics, and in 1969, he became one of the founding members of the Mouvement Militant Mauricien. In 1970, Mr. Veerasomi contested the by-election for constituency number 5, Pamplemousse and Triolet, under the banner of the Mouvement Militant Mauricien, and was returned to serve as member of the then Legislative Assembly. He became the first member of the Mouvement Militant Mauricien to be elected to serve the then Legislative Assembly. In early 1972, Mr. Veerasomi was jailed for refusing to pay fine for contempt of court after making public comments regarding the then Labour PMSD-CM regime's handling of strike actions. In 1973, Mr. Veerasomi founded his own political party, namely the Mouvement Militant Mauricien Socialiste Progressiste. He also co-founded the trade union movement called Fédération des Travailleurs Unis. In 1976, Mr. Veerasomi contested the general election for the same constituency number 5, Pamplemousses and Triolet, under the banner of the Mouvement Militant Mauricien Socialiste Progressiste, but was not returned. After the breakup of the MMM in 1983, Mr. Veerasomi was one of the founders of the MSM Labour PMSD Alliance, which won the general elections. Mr. Veerasomi was subsequently appointed as cultural advisor to serve the then government. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Veerasomi was well known for his literary work as playwright, novel, and poem writer. He was, above all, one of the fervent advocates of the Mauritian Creole, in which language he wrote regularly and translated a number of English and French texts. He composed songs in Creole, some of which are today part of the Mauritian cultural and artistic heritage. Mr. Speaker, sir, a few days before his demise, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Veerasomi, and we candidly discussed on a broad number of subjects, including the future of the Mauritian Creole language and of the Republic of Mauritius. I can say he impressed me by his lucidity, although he was very much weakened by illness and age. The country will remember Mr. Veerasomi as a passionate militant who dedicated his life to promote and defend his ideas and ideologies. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I request you to kindly direct the acting clerk to convey the deep condolences of the Assembly to the spouse and the children of Mr. Narendraj Veerasomi and to the close members of his family.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I associate myself with the tribute made by the Honourable Prime Minister to late Dev Veerasomi, former Member of Parliament, and well-known and well-loved personality in Mauritius. Dave Veerasomi was born in the village of Goodlands. When he turned 3, there was an outbreak of polio, which caused him to lose mobility in his left arm. Despite this setback, he completed his school certificate with flying colors, and through a turn of events, Dave Veerasomi got admitted to the Royal College of Port Louis to complete his higher school certificate, which got him admitted into Edinburgh University. He obtained diplomas, including a diploma in higher linguistics for a dissertation entitled Towards the Re-Evaluation of the Mauritian Creole. Dave was married to Loga, and through this beautiful relationship of over 60 years came 2 lovely daughters, Saskia and Anushka. Mr. Speaker, after a hard-fought political career, Dave focused on his love of the Mauritian Creole language, making it his objective to get Mauritian Creole to be recognized not only as a language, but also as an identity. Throughout his career, Dave has translated and written over 4,000 literary works, be it poems, plays, books, and translation of the Bible, Bhagavad Gita, Holy Quran, amongst others. Mr. Speaker, Dave Veerasomi was a good friend of mine, and many politicians consider him not only as a friend, but also as a mentor. We would like, on behalf of the opposition, I would like to extend our deepest condolences to his wife Loga and daughters Saskia and Anushka. May I also request the acting clerk to convey our deepest condolences to the bereaved family. Thank you.
Honourable members, I associate myself with the tribute paid to the memory of late Mr. Narendraj Veerasomi, former Member of Parliament by the Honourable Prime Minister and the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, and I direct the acting clerk to convey the deep condolences of the Assembly to the bereaved family. Thank you. Honourable members, I have 2 announcements to make. Firstly, I have to inform the House that the National Assembly will be hosting the 54th Plenary Assembly session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum from 22 to 26 November 2023 in the Sir Harry Al-Wadi Memorial Hall under the theme, The Role of Parliaments in Promoting Coordination for Enhanced Disaster Risk Reduction and Recovery Planning in the SADC region. Some 110 delegates from 15 member countries of the SADC region, including Mauritius, are expected to participate in the plenary assembly. As a speaker, I will be leading the Mauritian delegation comprising the following designated honorable members: Honorable 2, Vice President of the SADC PF, Honorable E2, and Honorable Frank Schill. In addition, 5 honorable members have, from both government and the opposition side, will be nominated to attend the plenary assembly session as observers. Moreover, I have also invited the chairperson and 2 members of the Rodrigues Regional Assembly to attend the said conference as observers. Honorable members, I am pleased to announce that the Honorable Prime Minister has kindly agreed to grace the function as chief guest and will deliver the opening address on Wednesday, 22nd, 2023. Secondly, honorable members will recall that on Tuesday last, I gave a ruling requesting Honorable Juman to tender his unreserved apologies to the House following an unfounded statement he made to the press on the 5th November 2023 regarding the use of one of the committee rooms of the National Assembly. Later, after my ruling, during a press conference, Honorable Shakil Mohammed expressed the view that I ought to have referred the matter to the Director of Public Prosecution for appropriate action under the National Assembly Privileges, Immunities and Powers Act. I wish to bring the following clarifications. Honorable members, for the House to proceed under the National Assembly Privileges, Immunities and Powers Act, the Speaker must be in presence of a notice of privilege complaint under Standing Order 74-1 from a honourable member requiring the intervention of the Speaker thereon, and I must point out that no such notice had been given. However, having regard to the serious misrepresentations of the facts by the honourable woman, I was bound to take immediate action in view of the responsibilities conferred upon me under Standing Order 78, and I could not allow this matter to remain unattended, which would otherwise bring Parliament into disrepute. Honourable members, I must also draw the attention of the House to the fact that during the said press conference, Honourable Shakil Mohammed further made certain unwarranted remarks towards the Chair. I thank you for your attention.
Papers have been laid. Questions?
Mr. Speaker, my question is addressed to the Honourable Minister of National Infrastructure and Community Development, whether in regard to cases of flooding along Old Moka Road, Quatre-Bornes, since January 2022 to date, causing the collapse of part of the wall of Saint-Jean Cemetery on Wednesday, 8 November 2023, and the subsequent damage caused to a number of tombs as well to houses situated along Colville Avenue and the adjoining roads. He will state the action undertaken, if any, indicating if contingency plans have been drawn up for the evacuation of residents thereat in case of need.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to thank the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to give me the opportunity to shed light on measures being taken to mitigate the problem of flooding and accumulation of water. Indeed, there has been torrential rainfall around the island on the 8th of November, affecting the region of Saint-Jean. But not only Saint-Jean, but also Mortaba, Souillac, Saint-Félix, Olmos Road of Chemin-Grenier, and some other villages in the south. However, since the question is specifically on Old Moka Road, Quatre-Bornes, I'll stick to it. Mr. Speaker, sir, following the flooding at Old Moka Road, Quatre-Bornes, on 19th January and 13 March 2022, a conceptual design for preliminary measures was worked out. It comprises the construction of a retention basin within the green space along Old Moka Road in view to limiting the flows toward the cemetery. However, after further survey, it was felt that the construction of the basin could create a structural instability to the foundation of the piles of the metro project at that locus. Accordingly, the solution was not retained. Another alternative solution envisaged was the rehabilitation and upgrading of the existing network, which would imply increasing the amount of stormwater being discharged into La Ferme Reservoir via the Trianon-Grosse-Roche feeder canal. However, the Water Resources Unit was not agreeable to this solution, given that the amount of water stored at La Ferme Reservoir is controlled. Accordingly, this alternative too was not retained. Eventually, the construction of a detention basin together with an outlet along Old Moka Road was considered as a preferred solution, and further studies were required with respect to its capacity and feasibility. The project was consequently entrusted to the NDU. In view of the complexity of the works, the NDU appointed a consultant, Desai and Associate Limited, under its framework agreement to carry out the study and design. However, due to its contractual commitment, the latter could not carry out the study within the prescribed time. Subsequently, the NDU had no choice but to appoint a new consultant, namely Vias Consulting Engineer Limited, to assess the optimum solution in view to mitigating the flooding at Saint-Jean. The consultant submitted an urgent works design report on 6 April 2023, followed by a preliminary design report on 17 April 2023. On 24 April 2023, the LDA gave its agreement to proceed with the preparation of the detailed design report. On the other hand, the Water Resources Unit conveyed its no objection to the proposed design on the 2nd June 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm informed that the consultant submitted a first draft detailed design report on the 22nd June 2023. Thereafter, investigative works were subsequently carried out to confirm the corridor for the construction of the proposed drain as recommended by the draft DDR. These works required an excavation of 17 trial pits along the alignment, including the excavation across the A1 road. The contract for the investigative works were awarded on 19 September 2023 to Gamma Construction Limited for an amount of 700,000 rupees. These works started on the 29 September 2023 and were completed on the 27 October 2023. I'm informed that 2 telecom ducts of diameter 75 mm were found at a depth of 650 mm. 1 CWDI pipe of diameter 300 mm was found at a depth of 1,300 mm. Accordingly, the proposed drain alignment has been maintained and the detailed design report was approved on the 6th November 2023. The works comprise mainly, firstly, raising of the road with reinforced concrete retaining wall along Old Moka Road over a stretch of 190 meters. Secondly, construction of a reinforced concrete covered drain of dimension 2 meters by 2 meters along the green space adjoining Old Moka Road. Thirdly, construction of a culvert of size 1.5 meters deep by 2 meters wide across A1 Road. And fourth, construction of a drain along motorway M1 over a stretch of 570 meters of size 1.5 meters deep by 2 meters wide, which eventually discharges into Rivière Sèche. The scope of work is being finalized and the contract for implementation is expected to be issued first week of December 2023 at latest. The expected duration of work is 6 months. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to also inform the House that yesterday itself, that is on the 13th November 2023, a meeting was held under the chair of Monseigneur Duron at l'évêché Paul-Louis, in the presence of Honorable Minister of Environment, the Mayor of Municipal Council of Quatre-Bornes, the representative of Ministry of Health and Wellness, the NDU, and the LDA. The following recommendations have been agreed to. Firstly, immediate reconstruction of the boundary wall of Saint-Jean Cemetery in reinforced concrete by the Municipal Council of Quatre-Bornes. The National Infrastructure Division of my ministry will carry out a structural assessment of the boundary wall along Old Moka Road and Broad Avenue to determine the stretch of the wall that has to be pulled down, reconstructed, or reinforced. Thirdly, installation of a floodgate at the main entrance of the cemetery along Old Moka Road by the Municipal Council of Quatre-Bornes. Fourth, the construction of a swale by the NDU along the green space crossing A1 Road leading to Rivière Sèche. Fifth, in view of the historical nature of the cemetery, the l'évêché will undertake the cladding of the reinforced concrete wall by the existing stones to maintain its original cachet. Sixth, a committee chaired by the Minister of Environment and comprising all concerned stakeholders will meet initially on a weekly basis at the seat of the l'évêché to monitor the progress of works. An assessment of the sanitary condition of the cemetery, Saint-Jean Cemetery, and its vicinity will be carried out by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. A communiqué has been issued to inform the public of the short and medium-term measures being undertaken. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm further informed that the fencing of the cemetery has already been erected by the Ministry of Environment to secure the site pending the reconstruction of the wall. Cleaning of the tombs and cemetery will be undertaken by Ministry of Environment and Mori Facilities Limited. Moreover, the paroisse of Saint-Jean will undertake the rehabilitation of the tombs. I say this opportunity to express my solidarity with the families who have been affected by this unfortunate event, including those whose relatives are buried in the Saint-Jean cemetery. Mr. Speaker, sir, as regards the houses along Colville Avenue, Broad Avenue, and De La Faye Avenue, there has been water ingress in the yards and few houses located in low-lying areas. However, there has been no structural damage to any building thereat. Mr. Speaker, sir, with regard to a contingency plan for the evacuation of residents, I'm informed that the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Act of 2016 provides for the safeguard of life of person in danger, including evacuation of person at risk. The measure is activated by the NEOC, that is the National Emergency Operation Command, whenever required. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Speaker, come to the last part first. On the 8th of November, Honorable PPS Joel gave a declaration to Radio Plus, and this is the verbatim. Là, pompiers besoin stand-by et que nous pouvons essayer d'informer ban du monde qui est en possibilité de besoin évacuer. C'est parce qu'il vraiment est un danger, c'est pas parce qu'il nous envie d'évacuer. This is your own ministry, the PPS of your own ministry, stating that on the 8th of November. This is why I am asking you, what is the plan that your ministry obviously is considering the evacuation of the poor inhabitants of that region? What is your plan?
I've replied already, Mr. Speaker, sir. I think the PPS has been very proactive, and we should thank her and congratulate her for being on the site at the material time. And yes, she has taken all required measures. Yes, the NEOC activate the evacuation plan whenever required, but there is also what you call the LEOC, that is the Local Emergency Operation Command, that's under the purview of the local authorities, that act whenever is required. So I don't think what we should have more. There is already established protocol, and we go according to that established protocol. And this is exactly what the PPS has been doing.
The Minister will agree that this is the main body of my question. So I expect him to be prepared to answer. How many people are likely to be evacuated? Where will you evacuate them? Have you prepared somewhere for them to be received and for them to be fed? And what are the conditions? How much rainfall is going to fall, millimeters-wise, for you to activate this evacuation plan? This is in the main body of the question, so I expect the Honourable Minister to be prepared with a decent answer.
So I don't think what was not indecent was my answer so far, Mr. Speaker, sir. But since the leader of the opposition wants some more detail, let me give him some more details. So, according to a survey carried out by the local disaster management coordinator of the Municipal Council of Catrebonne, 5 houses at Colville Avenue, 3 houses at Broad Avenue, 5 houses at De La Faye Avenue, 4 houses at Dumont Lane were impacted. Some had ingress of water in the house, and some water was only concerned in the yard.
Did you understand my question? What are the provisions that you have made to evacuate? But leave it if it's too difficult for you. We move on to another question. Now I want to ask the Honourable Minister, since January 2022, 22 months ago, this whole saga has been proof of incompetence and slackness. I'll ask the Honourable Minister. Now he's told us he's going to go for a drain. I understand now the drain across Old Mocha Road. But only in April, the same PPS and the municipality of Catterbone in June were talking about construction of a pond. Now that is a few months ago. Now did you now leave for more than a year? You were on the construction of a pond, it would seem, according to your PPS, but now you have moved to the construction of a drain. Is that the situation now?
Mr. Speaker, sir, we could have gone with a quick fix solution, but this is not how we operate. The region of Saint-Jean, the region of Saint-Jean could not afford a quick fix solution due to the dense population of Saint-Jean. Yes, we have taken time to find a long-term solution, a sustainable solution to resolve the problem for good and working in a holistic manner, which is the recommendation of the land drainage master plan. So as I've said in my main reply, the pond would have put to toss the structural credibility of the metro structures. Then we couldn't discharge the water into Canal La Ferme. And we couldn't take that volume of water and bring it in a built-up area. So we had to find an optimal solution that will be able, in the face of climate change, take any amount of water that will eventually come. So, yes, so today we are building. So there is a difference between a retention pond and a detention pond. A retention pond is a pond that will fill and then will overflow. A detention pond is a pond that will be filled and the drain is at the bottom of the pond. That is, it gets filled and being evacuated at the same time.
Honourable Minister, you uttered one unparliamentary word. Would you please be kind to withdraw that word?
Yes, I withdraw. I hope
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister. Now, we all know that there was never before flooding on that road. Never before, and certainly not to this extent. It's undoubtable that it is since the construction of the Metro Express, the redesigning of a number of drains from Phoenix down to Saint-Jean, and the blocking, I'm told, of some drains to Pellegrin, that this situation has called, in the words again of the Honourable PPS, the doubling of the water in the pipe, in the huge pipe that comes to Saint-Jean. Therefore, I'm going to ask you, who is going to pay for the damages to the tombs, to the houses, because the houses have been soiled by water coming from the cemetery. People have lost furniture, have lost electrical appliances, etc., with water coming from the cemetery, which is not a very pleasant thing. Therefore, who is going to pay for all this? Is it going to be the taxpayer, or is it going to be the Metro Express? Because never has this existed before 2022.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think this question relates more to the Minister of Security Social, Minister of Finance, that look into the compensation of people who've suffered damages. My ministry is more the Minister of Infrastructure. We see what we are building. We build drains, we build roads, we build buildings, and this is what we are concerned with, and this is what we are doing. So, and I think I've also heard that the government will surely, we being a caring government, will surely look into eventual solution of how to help. And regarding of the rehabilitation of the tombs, I think there has been a meeting, I've replied already, with the Minister of Environment, with l'évêché de Port-Louis, and it has been agreed who is doing what.
So what has been agreed?
I've replied already, Mr. Speaker, sir. I've replied already.
Mr. Speaker, I am firstly shocked that he didn't attend himself the meeting at l'évêché. So he cannot tell us also what has been agreed, that something has been agreed.
Already,
and the question, Mr. Speaker, is this. The flooding never occurred before Metro Express. That is a fact. Secondly, the EIA report has never been published, only a summary has been published, and neither has a land drainage management plan. Therefore, I will ask formally the Minister now that people are affected even more, as your colleague has said, that you publish now the full EIA report. I think it was done by Singapore Corporation Enterprise, the full one, not the one by Larsen and Toubro, the full one, and also table the land drainage master plan.
Was that a question, Mr. Speaker, sir? We take note of what the opposition has said.
Mr. Speaker, coming to another one of his famous reports, that is the Suez report on flood-prone areas. Would you be surprised to note that none of these roads appear on your Suez flood-prone area master plan, and that, in fact, it shows a lot of doubt as to the reliability of the famous Suez master plan. Again, it's not public. I have a copy. It's not public. I would ask the Minister to make this third report, the Suez flood-prone area master plan. Please table it, because people are buying property and selling property not knowing that they are in flood-prone areas.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think that question relates to Saint-Jean, very specifically to Saint-Jean, Old Mocha Road. It will be good if we stick to Old Mocha Road and Saint-Jean.
Mr. Speaker, I apologize if the questions are too complicated for my friend, but I thought it was normal that this is a flood-prone area, and it's not in your Suez report. What are you going to do about it, Mr. Speaker? I come back now to this EIA report. Now, this was exempted from the EIA requirement through a specific decision by the government of the day at that time in 2017, I think. Isn't it, will the Minister seriously consider tabling a copy of this EIA report, because it seems that the works have been done bric-a-brac?
Mr. Speaker, sir, regarding the EIA of the Metro, I think this is not under the purview of my ministry, and I cannot reply for another minister regarding the EIA report. But we'll take note of what the leader of the opposition is saying, and I'll convey.
Mr. Speaker, will the Honourable Minister agree with me that what has actually paralyzed the whole situation along Old Mocha Road to the detriment of the population of Quatre-Bornes has been the conflict, ongoing conflict, between the Minister of Environment and his own PPS, who cannot seem to agree on anything and never attend a meeting together. This I can show you, prove to you that meetings are held at the municipality and at the Vichy only by one and the other, never the two together, although both have important responsibilities. Isn't it, in fact, the truth that this whole comes from a conflict between these two personalities?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have already replied in details how my ministry, my very competent team of the LDA, my competent engineer under the purview of my chief project manager, the engineers of the RDA, and these engineers are qualified engineers that are working for the government of Mauritius. I stand guided by their expert advice. As far as other conflict the leader of the opposition is talking about, I don't think I will have to get into that.
I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister whether he is aware that I have it from information, I didn't go under the road myself, that there was a drain which took part of the water from Phoenix down to Pellegrin and on to Rivière Sèche. Has that drain been blocked since the construction of Metro Express?
Mr. Speaker, sir, today it's a fact that Mauritius is bustling with infrastructural development, north, south, east, west, center. And it's a matter of fact that any construction do bring some kind of change in the drainage pattern. That's a normal thing. But what's more important, it's today, our engineers are doing what needs to be done to mitigate. And we should know that when we talk about flooding, we are not talking about eradicating the problem. We are into mitigating. There is no dry fit policy. For instance, I know that's not your constituency. For example, what happened in Suyak. Suyak was not a flood-prone area. It was not under the purview, but it got flooded. This is what's happening with climate change today, because we've got 300 millimeters of rain in 12 hours. What type of drain infrastructure we will have to build to take that amount of water? And especially when we are operating in very built-up area, we have to build according to the space available. So, no, there was no drain blocked. There could have been, I need to check, but there could have been reorientation of few drains here and there. That's normal in construction. That's normal when we are building new roads. That's normal when we are building new bridges. So it's definitely not one element that will cause a change in pattern. We are building roads, we are building metro, we are building houses, we are building boundary walls. It's all contribute. It will be difficult to put your hand on one specific element. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I met the minister there on a site visit. It was fortuitous, it was not planned. About a year ago, you were looking at the big drain coming from Phoenix, and you look at the smaller drain going under the cemetery. So wasn't it obvious to your ministry, the Land Development Drainage Authority, specialized agency, the Metro Express, and this is why we asked for EIA report, that this drain under the cemetery was far too small in diameter to cater for the water coming out of the huge drain you can walk inside under the Phoenix, from Phoenix coming to Saint-Jean. Did it need, I mean, I'm sure you saw it, did you not, Minister? See that there was smaller drain, bigger drain? I mean, why at that time, more than a year ago, when you were on site visit there, was nothing done to sort out the situation?
Mr. Speaker, sir, when we are talking about building drains, it's not like you can't do it overnight. It has been studied, been done. We have had a holistic approach regarding the whole region of Saint-Jean. And as I have said, we cannot, what the leader of the opposition maybe is trying to say, we should have upgraded, make a bigger drain that will go through the cemetery of Saint-Jean. But that would have tantamount to bringing now a large amount of water into a built-up area, into the residence of people. This is not what we want to do. We want to take out the water. What we are doing now, this is a solution. It has taken time to come to that solution, but I'll also agree, it's a challenge sometimes to get the engineers to agree among themselves because, they have sometimes opposing opinions, which are, I think, good and healthy for the running of our institutions. But at the end of the day, we have agreed on one solution, and that will be implemented now in the days to come.
My last question, because I've listened to my colleagues, my last question, if I can have my microphone, thank you very much. My last question is this. It's quite clear that it is the fault of Metro Express, the government itself, maybe the wastewater authority, whatever it is else, the RDA, the understaffed LDA, it is their fault. So I will ask the minister formally to say that he will organize for compensation, not only to the church for the war and to the poor relatives of the dead who have been, the tombs have been disturbed, destroyed, moved by the water, and the poor inhabitants of Colville and the adjoining streets. They need compensation because nobody would like to be in this situation. They need compensation, and government take its responsibility towards the inhabitants of Quatre-Bornes? That is my question.
We are a government that has always taken our responsibilities toward the citizen of the country, and the citizen knows better. And this government will always do what's best for the population. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. My question has to do with procedure. Can I ask the Honourable Minister whether all the deviations that the Leader of Opposition has mentioned just now, his MP in Quatre-Bornes, with respect to the Metro Express, deviation of drains, can I ask the Honourable Minister whether the LDA has approved all those deviations? And if he does not have the answer, the officers are here.
Mr. Speaker, sir, everything that concerns drains in the country are done under the purview of the LDA.
I have a last question.
No, wait a minute. No, I am the speaker. You have a last question? Put your last
You are the
question.
Speaker.
This is
You
your
found that out. Very good.
This is your
Very good.
privilege.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask you, I'm sorry, about the Honourable Minister. There was talk of a construction of now listen well, an absorption drain along Colville Avenue of 56 meters. I have not picked it up from his answer whether this construction of absorption drain along Colville Avenue is still d'actualité or has it now been cancelled?
Mr. Speaker, sir, there are some projects. Let me tell the Leader of the Opposition and inform the House that it's not we are not encouraging at the LDA level to do absorption pits because it works once and then it doesn't work again. It's a waste of money. This is why we are into a more holistic approach. We want to take the water to a discharge point. But sometimes I do understand the local authorities, when there is an urgency, okay, they try, then they come and they make an absorption pit that will eventually take the water to a safe outlet. But I'll also try to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, I do understand my officers. Sometimes when they go too quickly, this is also being questioned. Why you went quickly? Why you given this contract? Why you this one? And then they go through this mud slinging exercise that they now a bit used to. So I understand sometimes they try to be overcautious, and this is what happened. Then the project tend to take a bit longer to be executed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Time is over. Prime Minister's question time. I now call Honorable Tour.
Voilà donc pour cette private notice question consacrée à ben inondation qui finit là au cimetière de Saint-Jean et ben maison qui trouve dans la région avoisinante. Xavier Duval, les catégoriques, les dire qui jamais pas fini la inondation là-bas avant la construction, avant le projet de métro express. C'est pour cette raison que le leader de l'opposition réclame la publication du rapport complet de IAE, Environment Impact Assessment, ben expert de Singapour qui fait ce rapport-là. Il dit rendre ce rapport-là public, ministère Riram, peut dire ça n'est pas tom sous ce ministère. Xavier Duval peut dire qui drain qui est là entre Phoenix passe par Pellegrin pour une rivière sèche, jamais ça mène drain là qui est bloqué avant le projet Métro Express. Et là, le ministre fin bien concédé qui, quand il y a une construction qui fait, ça lui modifie les sens, le drainage pattern. Et le député Ousmane Naomed fin demander est-ce que déviation de un drain fin est approuvée par un expert de Land Drainage Authority. Le ministre dit qu'il tout ce qu'il fait, il fait après approbation de ben officier. Xavier Duval fin dire que ça drain qui a levé cimetière de Saint-Jean, il est trop petit et il peut dire tu fais une site visite un an de cela qui fait patine donc agrandi ça mènera là. Le ministre Riram peut dire si tu agrandis ben drain tu peux un risque qu'il n'y a plus beaucoup d'élo qui a vers le cimetière de Saint-Jean avec ben conséquences plus graves. Xavier Duval, il dit catégorique, il dit c'est la faute à Metro Express, Land Drainage Authority et c'est la faute au gouvernement. Et il dit, il demandait est-ce que le gouvernement peut donner compensation à ben famille qui soit tome de cette famille fin endommagée ou bien la case même fin endommagée. Mais le ministre fin dire qu'il n'y a aucun dégâts structurels qui viennent causer à un bâtiment, ce qui concerne ben, la case, mais il dit qui, par rapport à une tombe, il y a ben dégâts qui viennent noter. Et il dit que compensation, pas tombe sous lui, il tombe sous le ministère de la Sécurité sociale et le ministère des Finances, mais il dit que le gouvernement peut prendre bonne note de sa proposition. Alors, donc, Xavier Duval aussi pose la question par rapport à ben puits d'absorption qui supposément si bien construire, ben puits d'absorption qui a donc tout le long de l'avenue Colville. Et il dit, est-ce que ce projet-là est toujours d'actualité? Le ministre Riram fin dire qu'ils n'ont pas pédale dans sa direction-là parce qu'il n'est pas efficace et c'est un gaspillage d'argent public. Voilà, Jagdish, mais avec Duval, maintenir qu'avant métro, pas un problème dans sa région.
Oui, absolument, dans le sens c'est-à-dire le train qui se trouve dans la région juste après la brasserie de Phoenix et qui descend vers 16 ans, vers 4 bornes, là, Xavier Duval peut poser la question avec Métro Express, si finena déviation et dans quelles conditions et approbation de qui, concernant surtout ban officier, ban responsable et donc qui travaille le ban projet de développement. Et là, le ministre responsable, Bobby Hiram, peut dire c'est un long-term assessment qu'il fait depuis presque 1 an. Il y a une compagnie, la compagnie Desai, qui gagne un premier contrat alors pour faire une étude de la situation et finalement, les fins abandonné. Et là, une deuxième compagnie, une takeover, et là, une proposition, une fait. Et il y a aussi le rapport Suez concernant une région qui est menacée. Et ce rapport Suez-là, il est lié avec le master plan qui est préparé par le ministère. Maintenant, qui plan d'urgence est là, là nous trouvons qu'il n'a aucun plan, d'après réponse qu'il donnait, parce que la PPS Tania Diol peut dire besoin pompiers intervenir, guetter.
Et il fait sa déclaration, la PPS il fait sa déclaration, le Radio Plus, le 8 novembre, il dit qu'il y a un pompier stand-by et une possibilité d'évacuation. C'est pour ça qu'ils avaient du Val, ils posent la question, Jagdish, mais qui au plan d'évacuation? Combien de personnes concernées? Qui protocole? Combien l'appli besoin tomber pour qui pour qu'il active sa plan d'évacuation là. Et là, quoi on dit, donc il paraît qu'il peine un plan, mais le leader d'opposition fin dire et il fin il pas fin faire ça de façon unintentional. Il dit qu'il y a un conflit entre la PPS Tania Diol et le ministre
Bobby Hiram,
le ministre de l'environnement, et il dit que ce conflit-là peut faire qu'il y a des affaires qui peuvent bloquer. Et il dit par exemple, réunion qui tient à l'évêché hier, le ministre de l'environnement est présent, mais la PPS pas présent, et même le ministre Hiram, qui est ministre des infrastructures nationales, lui aussi, il est parti présent. Xavier Duval peut dire qu'il y a un conflit entre PPS et ministre, et ça peut retarder, peut bloquer ben projet.
Ensuite, il y a la question de déviation d'îlots qui descendent, qui accumulent viennent jusqu'à le cimetière de Saint-Jean et qui menacent toute sa région de la rue de la Faille, la rue Colville et il y a jusqu'à presque Bazar de Belle-Rose. Et là, il y a une habitation, un habitant même, qui fait une déclaration pour dire qu'ils ont des armées avant, mais là, depuis 2 ans ou 3 ans, avec la construction du métro, ça c'est, il y a un rapport IAE là, qui est bien publié, et Xavier Duval peut insister, et ce qui dans le rapport IAE, puis dire bien prudent concernant déviation mandrin. Donc, et là, c'est Gamma Civic maintenant qui l'accompagne, qui travaille sur une étude de la situation et qui peut faire une proposition de réhabilitation. Maintenant, en compensation, le ministre dit le gouvernement est conscient, mais c'est même pas de aucune solution de compensation pour les familles qui sont affectées. D'abord, les familles qui et certains se ban proches enterrés au cimetière. Et vrai, c'est un gros dégât qui fait créer au cimetière de 500, aussi résidence, habitation qui finit donc affectée par inondation, par gros îlots.
Oui, il nous rappelle une recommandation qui finit faire lors de la réunion d'hier à l'évêché, donc reconstruction de sa mur-là, et ça pour faire par la municipalité de Quatre-Bornes, ministère de Bobby Ram pour faire un assessment de la situation, pour installer un floodgate à l'entrée du cimetière, pour nettoyer Bentum et pour réhabiliter Bentum. Ça, c'est quelques-unes des recommandations qui finissent faire à la suite de la réunion qui finit à l'évêché hier, Jagdish.
Oui, et pour le ministre, PNA une quick solution, PNA une solution rapide pour prendre les temps. Et l'officier, parfois, je ne pas aller trop vite parce qu'il y a tellement de critiques. Alors, d'accusations qui fait concernant allocation de contrat. Mais entre-temps, Xavier Duval, en tant que député de la circonscription, peut demander qu'il passe mitiguer, seulement évite les dégâts, mais surtout veiller qu'il au moins ait un upgrading de tout l'environnement et redirige la canalisation pour qu'il y ait un habitant au moins capable d'être mieux protégé. Ensuite, la question de Ousmane Mahomed, qui lit régulièrement, il soulève la question de dire qu'il sa déviation de drain de Phoenix, puis maintenant jusqu'à Eben, parce qu'il y a des attires une photo pour montrer auprès du feeling Eben, là, et dans la semaine dernière, combien l'auto finit bloqué dans le parking de l'espace commercial à Eben. Et là, c'est un autre projet de développement, à part le métro, qui peut canaliser l'eau vers la région de Eben et jusqu'à possiblement vers Roselle.
Mais Jacques, c'est là que ben expert, ben ingénieur, et un travail bien important à faire. Bobby Argam peut dire qu'il ben ingénieur, de compétences, de qualifié, ne pas mettre en doute de compétences, de qualifications, mais il a quand même une vision qui est bien par rapport à une construction qu'il fait. Elle nous rappelle en 2013, il y a la construction du Ring Road. Et vous rappelez sa quantité d'élo qui descend, qui envahit le tunnel de Codan, avec une conséquence meurtrière. Et à ça, là, vous avez du mal à dire, c'est Métro Express qui est responsable de l'affaire. Quand il y a la construction de Bagatelle Mall, là aussi, il y a beaucoup d'accumulation d'élo, avec inondation bien grave. Donc, à chaque fois qu'il y a un grand projet, un projet d'envergure, que de construire soit mall, et là, dans le cas, c'est Métro Express, ou bien Smart City, et on trouve souvent quand on a l'appli qui tombait et on a accumulation d'eau et on mentionne déviation de drain. Donc, c'est là que ben expert bien capable d'une forecast, ben conséquence qui capable en cas d'inondation, parce que si en 2013 finit ben conséquence fatale, ça veut dire qu'il y a l'avenir, nous pas pour y aller, et surtout qui, avec le changement climatique, donc fréquence et de l'appli qui peut tomber, qui peut augmenter, et nous rappelle qui, semaine passée, dans 24 heures seulement, il y a 300 mm l'appli à Saint-Félix.
Oui, Montauban, le sud, et également 16 ans après. Alors, donc, ça l'étude complète qui est nécessaire dans tout l'environnement. Vous ne pouvez pas, comment Xavier Duval peut dire, faire un projet piecemeal, nous développer une région et l'autre région, en retour, subir les conséquences du développement qui peut faire un peu plus là-haut, parce qu'il y a un cours d'eau naturel, et là, tout bon rapport dans le passé, il maintenir, il ne faudrait pas nous abandonner, c'est-à-dire nous remplir ban cours d'eau, ban la rivière, ban la source, et ban drain, il y a un drain qui est même naturel, et qui ont dit avec développement, nous peut toujours, et a tendance à être écarté dans le projet de développement.
Voilà donc autant pour cette private notice question. À venir à 13h, le journal complet de Dushula Mansing. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.